What's up, Wyoming? It's Sadie with WYO Radio and WYO4 News. And today we are spotlighting an organization that's saving lives in the most extraordinary way. Dog Is My CoPilot flies nearly 1,000 animals a month. And as of today, 44,772 animals have been saved from overcrowded shelters to places where loving families are waiting. Their work stretches from California and Texas and all the way to the coast. Joining us today is the founder and chief pilot, Dr. Peter Rork. Dr. Rork, thank you for being here.
Yes, good morning. Hello, Wyoming. I love you guys. This is my home.
Your story is very powerful, and your mission is even more powerful. Before we dive into this, how are you doing today?
Oh, living the dream. This is the best day of my life. I woke up, I'm healthy. I had my 3 rescue dogs sleep on my bed with me, and it just, it couldn't be better. It was a 3-dog night.
I love it. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Dog Is My CoPilot was founded in 2012. What inspired you to turn flying into a life-saving mission?
Well, I've been a pilot my whole life. I soloed when I was 16, private pilot license when I was 17. And then when I graduated from college, I was wondering whether I wanted to fly for a living or medicine or sciences interested me. I was wondering whether I should go into medicine. Now, that was in the early 70s. I know that was way before you were born. But the Vietnam War was winding down. Air Force was spitting a lot of Air Force pilots out to go with the airline. So I really didn't want to be the last guy in line. So I went to medical school, University of Maryland in Baltimore. Makes me a Baltimorean. And I had a terrific time and worked my way through medical school teaching flying, actually, doing charter work, sightseeing tours over the Chesapeake Bay. And then through the winds of the match, ended up in New Mexico in Albuquerque, where I did my orthopedic surgery residency.
Okay.
But I always had an airplane.
Okay.
So when I finally landed in Jackson, Wyoming, well, you're in Wyoming, so people who know Wyoming know where Jackson is. So
Right.
when I finally landed in Jackson, I had an aircraft, and one of my patients asked me if I wouldn't mind transporting some animals for her from Idaho Falls down to the Denver area. She worked with a group down there called the Golden Retriever Rescue of the Rockies, which the acronym is GRR. And so I would do that on the occasional basis, and then I did a couple flights with Pilots and Paws, which, I think it's a good reason for pilots to justify their flying, but it's not a good way to save animals.
Gotcha.
But, if you're transporting one animal, for that animal, it changes their world. So, I can't argue with it, but it's not a very efficient way of doing it. So I had been recently married. I was not my first marriage. And it was a beautiful woman who we married in February. She said she wanted to get married on leap year day. And then died of a cardiac arrest 2 months later. And it just, young, healthy, it was like a lightning bolt.
Oh, I bet.
Strike from the sky. Well, that crushed me. I went into a really dark place. I quit my practice, just walked away from it, took my rescue dog, Doyle, and retreated up to a small cabin that I had up in Montana. And then I had a mutual friend of my late wife's and mine reach out to me and say, you know what, Peter, Meg would want you to be happy. You need to stop this stuff. So I decided that I have talent in flying. I love rescue dogs. I've done some rescue flights. So I would start a nonprofit and see where it took me. Now, the only model I knew was Pilots and Paws, so I started doing it after that.
Yeah.
And then the Animal Rescue Center in Jackson asked me to start flying dogs from the San Francisco SPCA back to Jackson.
Okay.
Now, if you've never been to the facility in San Francisco, it's run by Marty Watts, just a crackerjack gal. She does a terrific job. But their facility, I would stay there. It's like a Hilton hotel for these dogs. They have a terrific program, and they're non-kill.
Okay.
which is good.
Yeah.
So I flew out there to meet Marty, had lunch with her, and she pulled me aside and said, if you really want to do something important, I want to introduce you to somebody. So I flew down to the Central Valley of California, Merced, which is not a great community. It's really on its knees after the Air Force Base closed there.
Yeah.
And I met Sharon Lohman, and it was on the 4th of September of 2012, and I'll never forget this. She took me by the local shelter where 94% of all the animals that were taken in would be euthanized. Only 6% nose in, nose out. She runs a nonprofit called New Beginnings, and it was she was desperate to save these animals, and she had a van, and she would drive 20 or 30 animals in their crates up to Portland, Seattle, Missoula, Spokane, Denver, Salt Lake City, and these are like 12, 14, 16-hour trips in this van. And you have a sense of urgency because, you don't stop every 3 hours and let the dogs out to pee. Once they're in the crate, they stay in the crate till they get to their destination.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And so they just, two drivers, they drive nonstop, get them to their destination, take a quick nap, and then drive back. And I said, Sharon, I can do those trips in 4 or 5 hours. So I had a small aircraft at that time. It was a single-engine piston aircraft, a Cessna 206, it's called a stationair because it's kind of like a station wagon with wings.
Okay.
But it would hold 6 passengers with seats, but I took all the seats in the back out, and I could put, depending on the size of the crates, I could put anywhere between 10 and 40 animals in that thing.
Gotcha.
So I started flying for her, and Sharon wanted to keep me her secret because now she has air transport.
Right.
But the locations, the receiving groups that I was delivering dogs to were also receiving animals from other locations. So they started sharing that information, and then the other locations started asking if I would fly for them. So I was flying my butt off, and really, I was really loving it. I had saving animals, about 1,000 a year is what I was doing at that time, and I always thought, well, you know what, I'll do this for 10 years or save 10,000 animals, whichever comes first, and then I'm just going to go do something else.
Gotcha.
So after one flight in particular where I had gone into the FBO, fixed base operator, to check the weather, they had moved my seat all the way forward so they can put an extra row of crates in. And when I got into the aircraft, my knees were like up to my chest. I mean, I could barely squeeze in there.
Yeah.
So my daughter asked me after that flight, she says, "Hey, Dad, how was the flight?" And I said, "It was terrible." And I explained what happened. She says, "Look, you've been talking to me about buying a larger aircraft. Just go do it." Now, the nonprofit at that time was, we're running in the red.
Yeah.
A lot of the money's still coming out of my own pocket, but I didn't care. It was for a good cause, and I didn't have anything else to spend it on. So I hired an aircraft broker. He found an aircraft up in Canada from a mining company, a Cessna Caravan, which is what FedEx uses to haul the freight.
Okay.
And it's a single engine, but it's a turbine engine. And it would hold 14 passengers, and that would be a lot of animals if I took all the seats out.
Yeah.
So I went up and I looked at the aircraft, and it was in perfect mechanical condition, but it looked awful. The paint was chipping, the inside, the ceiling was ripped off and stuff, and I looked at it, I said, perfect. I mean, the animals don't care what it looks like, and I care what's in front of the firewall to make sure that the engine is good. So I bought that. I had to mortgage my house. We didn't have the money to buy it, so I mortgaged my house, loaned the money to the organization without any plan on how to get paid back, and started flying that. And so I flew it down to Merced, and for the very first flight, I had 251 animals on that first flight.
Oh, my goodness.
And I thought, now we're doing things.
Yeah.
So for the next 3 or 4 years, I did it all by myself with the caravan. Now I'm flying all throughout the West.
Okay.
And I thought, I'm getting a little burned out at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to the conclusion that I'm very glad I didn't fly for a living because, A, it's boring. B, it's sedentary. You just sit there and watch the world go by. And, of course, in the caravan, it's not a pressurized aircraft, so we're in the lower altitudes.
Okay.
And it's a big airplane, but at least it's slow. As a matter of fact, we joke that it doesn't have an airspeed indicator; it has a calendar.
Oh.
So I mean that's. So I brought on a couple of volunteer pilots. We were all volunteer at that point, and I started splitting up the flight schedule with them. And we were just saturated, so I decided to buy a second aircraft. I found one at a pretty good price, and we introduced that. We flew it for about a year, and then it was destroyed in a tornado down in Texas.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, and it's still in the shop being repaired. So I went out and bought a third aircraft at that time.
Okay.
And now we fly we have 2 caravans. The third one will be back on the flight line this coming summer, probably, more than 2 years after the damage.
Okay.
We now fly nationally. We fly East Coast, West Coast, North, South. We're flying about 1,000 animals a month. We have a flight in the air today, even.
Nice.
That's going from Texas up to New England.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so that's what we do. We really struggled financially until Petco took a liking to us and started giving us grants. And then about a year or so after that, CBS Sunday Morning did a piece on me, and it really kind of put Dog Is My CoPilot on the map. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I was getting maybe 4 or 5 donations a week, and it was really easy to sit down and write a personal thank you note to everybody who donated any amount at any time. And I mean, we're a small personal organization. Mm-hmm. So CBS Sunday Morning did this piece on me, and I did the shoot, and the gentleman says, okay, well, I'm going to send it back to New York. And we did it in August. He says, it's probably going to be on sometime later this fall. I said, that's great, thank you.
Yeah.
So he calls me the next week. He says, the producers in New York love it. You're on this weekend. So I thought, I called all my friends. I said, hey, I'm going to be on TV this weekend. Watch it.
Yeah.
And I was in Montana at the point, and I didn't have a TV station where I could watch it, so I was streaming it on my computer, and I hadn't seen it before, and it was very flattering what they did. It wasn't exactly the direction I wanted it to go, but it was great. And the interesting part is that after they showed it on the East Coast time zone, Central, West, so it was like shown 4 times throughout the country. And every time it was shown, suddenly my email would blow up with donations, $5, $10,
That's
$10,
amazing,
$15 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now I'm looking at hundreds of these emails, and instead of thinking, oh, this is great, we're finally on the map getting recognition, I'm thinking, how am I going to write all these thank you notes? So, so that's where we are now. I could no longer fill 3 aircraft with volunteer pilots, so I have 3 full-time pilots.
Okay.
I have 2 flight coordinators, which work as ground control,
okay,
an executive director, and another half dozen of volunteer pilots who will keep the other pilots from burning out.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that's where we are. I've made every mistake you can think of. Although I'm pretty creative, I keep finding more mistakes to make. But we're doing good things. We're going to break 50,000 this year.
Wow.
And I never thought. I mean, remember I said I was going to quit after 10. I mean, we blew through that number so quickly, I didn't even notice.
Right.
And so my partner, Marcy, who's my girlfriend, but I call her my partner. She's not my wife, but she'll occasionally fly with me. And we did a flight last year, and she brought 2 dogs home from those flights. So I said, Marcy, you can't fly with me anymore. I mean, we only have so much room.
I would be the same way, yeah.
It is really amazing. Now, you're in Rock Springs. Now, we fly into Rock Springs probably twice a month.
Okay.
And those are animals that come out of West Texas, Denver City. They drive them over to Hobbs in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And that's a flight that we do almost weekly. And whether we fly into Rock Springs or not depends on whether the local shelter has room.
Right.
So it's really not difficult to find animals. The farther south you go, the worse it is.
Oh gosh.
And the farther north you go, the better it is. And it's a climate and a cultural kind of difference.
Gotcha.
So and educational difference, because really the answer here is not transporting animals that are at risk. It's spay and neuter. I mean, that's really the key.
It really is. Yep.
So, and really both ends of the leash, in my opinion. But that's a different subject.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. If we can educate the people to spay and neuter, be better animal people. My problem of trying to satisfy all the need that's out there would go away.
Oh, for sure.
So we fly kind of on a set schedule, which is good for the animals, but bad for us in terms of when disasters happen. You always see these rookie-loos who will come in, they'll fly an aircraft in, they'll fly away, and the TV cameras are there, and they're getting all this credit. But we're out there doing the heavy lifting every single day of the week.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's our big issue is, of course, fundraising. We're a nonprofit. We never charge the senders or the receivers for our flights. So we offer all of our services for free. Mm-hmm. And I don't make a penny off of this thing. For me, it's a labor of love. And it was from the very beginning. I just knew it was the right thing to do. But I now have, 6 full-time people on our payroll. They like to get paid.
Yeah.
So really, we can't fill the fuel tanks with pixie dust. I mean,
right.
Money is the mother's milk of a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. And that continues to be our largest hurdle. So my time is actually more valuable working with the executive director, Tara Pollard, who is terrific, by the way, and I can't say enough about her. You should edit that out so she doesn't get a big head, okay? But she's terrific. So Tara and I spend most of our time fundraising. I'm more valuable on the phone than I am in the cockpit. Although I still fly, I still enjoy flying. Mm-hmm. Marcy enjoys flying with me, although she's going to have to wear blinders on her next flight. So that's where we are. I don't see an end to it. We have a strong board. We have a good paddock of pilots, and so even after I step out, this organization is going to go on for decades.
Great. That's great. Yeah.
So I don't know if I answered even one of your questions.
You know what? It's actually really funny. I had all these questions, and I'm not even kidding you, answered every single one. I didn't even have to ask them. You made it so easy for me.
Well, I'm glad I could do that for you.
Yeah. So I know that when we post this video, we're, of course, going to put up a link to the website so that people can donate if they'd like to. But is there anything else that people here in Wyoming can do to help support you? Or?
Yeah, well, there are 4 things that people can do. First, you have to understand for every animal that we fly, we're really saving 2 animals. The animal that we rescue and the animal that takes its place.
Right.
So we've flown 45,000 animals. We've really saved 90,000. I mean, right. I can't tell you the goosebumps that gives me,
Oh, man.
even after in our 13th year of me doing this, I'm still jazzed by it.
Oh, yes.
But there are 4 things that people can do if they want to step off the sideline and be part of the solution instead of being part of the problem, because it's either or.
Yes.
You can adopt, don't shop.
Mm-hmm.
And really, you can adopt. I have 3 rescues. You have 1, get 2, because they keep each other company and they play in the backyard.
Yeah.
And if you can't adopt, then at least foster an animal. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, our deep dark secret is that about 30% of the people who foster animals never surrender them. So they're like a failed foster. Yeah. Which is great, because they just love them. And let me tell you, when we're at the sending group, when we're loading up the aircraft and the fosters are bringing their dogs to the aircraft to be flown, they're crying their eyes out.
Oh, I would.
I
would for sure. Yeah.
It's awful. And it gets all of us crying.
Mm-hmm.
When we usually start very early in the morning when it's nice and cool.
Yeah.
And the dogs are chirping and they're making a lot of noise, talking to each other. We load up the aircraft, and they're all flown in crates. And so it's a Tetris game trying to fit all the crates in there, but we always do.
Yeah.
We close the door, and the dogs are making a lot of noise.
Oh, I bet.
And one thing that I didn't anticipate when I first started this is just how much heavy breathing is going on inside the aircraft. So, I mean, think the back seat of your Volkswagen Beetle on prom night. All right.
Oh my goodness.
So I mean, everything inside the aircraft is covered, with dew. Well, anyway, I'm getting off subject here. So, if you can't adopt and foster an animal, and if you can't foster an animal, then go down to your shelter and volunteer.
Yeah.
Walk the dogs, socialize them, getting them ready to be fostered or to being adopted, leash trained, interacting with other animals, social skills, sweeping out the runs, changing the water dishes, feeding the dogs, laundering the dog blankets and stuff.
Yeah.
There are lots that can be done.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't do that, then donate.
Yeah.
Now, I was always raised that charity begins at home. So donate to your local shelter. And you say, well, I know the person, I don't trust them with the money, and fine, bring down a bag of dog food. You think the owner's going to eat the dog food?
Right.
Or you can bring down some leashes, bring down some old blankets. I mean, anything helps.
Right.
And if you want to do that, $5. We can really stretch $5. Mm-hmm. It really goes a long way.
Yeah.
And if you want to donate to Dog Is My CoPilot, believe me, we could use it.
Okay.
But really, the kill shelters, these people, they're called kill shelters, but they really don't have an option. They have a finite amount of space, mm-hmm. but an infinite number of dogs that come in. And if they can't adopt them out or foster them out or transport them out, that's the only choice they have.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's just all part of the problem, because, this is not a dog problem. This is what people don't understand. It's not a dog problem.
Right.
That for every dog that's in a shelter, there's a human responsible.
Most definitely.
And so be part of the solution. I've given you plenty of ways that you can do it.
Yep. Awesome. Well, Dr. Rork, thank you. Thank you so much for talking with me
today.
Please,
call me Peter.
Oh, thank you, Peter, for talking with us today. And thank you so much for all the incredible work that you and your pilots do every single day. Dog Is My CoPilot is proof that one idea, one airplane can change thousands of lives. So once again, you can learn more, donate, or follow their rescue flights online. And like I said, we will put their website in the description of this video. And once again, Peter, thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it and helping us get the word out.
Awesome. Well, you have a good rest of your day and keep on doing what you're doing.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call.
All right, bye-bye.